Brittany. So we just talked about title policy. Next subject I want to talk about, which does come up probably more frequently than people realize, is, you have a parent or a loved one that's passed away and they didn't have a will. Can they sell the house? So kids, maybe mom dies, maybe dad had died previously, whatever the case may be, but the last remaining parent passes away. There's no will. There's brother and sister, however many siblings. They need to sell the house. They don't have a will. What can they do?
The answer to that question is yes, they can sell the house. It is a case-by-case basis.
Sure.
But as the title company, we have the ability to close a transaction by way of heirship affidavit.
Okay, so explain that a little bit.
So an heirship affidavit is stating the facts of the deceased and who their heirs are.
Right.
So we determine that information by having two disinterested parties complete an heirship questionnaire that determines the heirs. And heirs are the people that the property will go to once.
Naturally go to, based on the state of Texas. Correct. And what the state of Texas says, okay, if there are two children of this marriage, whatever.
Right. So whoever the heirs to the deceased are will take title based on the facts of the affidavit. We have our attorneys prepare those affidavits, file them in real property records, and that updates title to have the heirs or the children of the deceased be able to sell the property on their behalf without a will.
Right. So the key also here is other disinterested parties. So it cannot be the parties who are inheriting the house doing the heirship affidavit. It will be the people who may know the situation, may have known the parents or parent, know the children, et cetera, et cetera.
So it could be a neighbor or a family friend, someone from church.
Right. So now that's a form. You guys send that out. How does that work? How long does that usually take?
So we've done heirship affidavits in a week and can close within a week if it's a cash transaction. Now, I will tell you, underwriters like to wait 6 months after the party is deceased to close with heirship affidavits.
Right.
So that is a stipulation there, 6 months. But we can prepare those affidavits within a week's time. Sometimes quicker. We prefer not to do it rushed. But we can do it within a week.
Because I know a lot of times we get people, they kind of stick their head in the sand on a lot of different topics because they're uncertain, and I get it. So something like this, I've seen people just wait way longer than they need to. And really they can get this process started sooner than later. They can come to you, tell you guys the situation, and you can start that process.
Yes. Now, the underwriter likes to wait 6 months, but sometimes there's case-by-case basis where they will make exceptions to close earlier. But other documentation would need to be provided, credit reports for the deceased, etc. So there are circumstances where we could close it prior to 6 months.
So just out of curiosity, so if I'm one of the heirs, effectively, does the house then get title to them, or it's just a pass-through?
Once those heirship affidavits are filed in real property records, title is now vested in the heirs.
Okay. So all your title search, everything, you're going to county records, you're looking at marriage records, you're looking at everything, right?
That's correct.
Because we do have situations sometimes where someone claims to not have been married, they never got divorced. I know one of our agents had a situation where husband had passed away, wife was selling it, said they didn't have any children. He actually had a son that he had not spoken to in like 30 years. So even though he may not have spoken to him, because he didn't have a will, he was an heir to a portion of that house. So I remember this particular agent, they had to get a private investigator. So that's a little more, I don't want to get in the weeds on that. That's just a little bit more of a hairier deal. But that's why it's important to kind of start this process sooner than later.
That is correct. And I will say that when we are having the attorneys prepare those affidavits, they are looking at obituaries and everything. So we are protecting both parties in that. We do our due diligence to make sure that it's done properly.
And we make sure that all siblings are told, because we know that sometimes there are situations where some siblings try to work around other siblings.
This is correct.
So
I've seen it more often than not.
Yeah, so that's a little sidebar. So, all right. Well, once again, Brittany is a wealth of knowledge. Thank you for that little nugget, and we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.